Hi, you guys. Good morning. It's week 2 of all this distance learning. So I'm just going to get right into it because there's a lot to go over. But basically, you got 3 things to do, 4 really things to do, but 3 objectives. Um, the first one is we want to really be moving our outline now onto our ebook template. We're going to continue in our attempt to really understand different cultural perspectives by doing readings, discussions, speaking, and listening. And then you're going to continue your remote learning assignment, journaling in these very, very strange times. So the first thing that you're going to do is we're going to move our ebook outline onto our template. Okay, and I want you to complete at least 3 slides. So this week you're going to get feedback on your outline. And then after you've gotten feedback, so just check your outline. I mean, I think you guys get notifications when I say when I have a comment and stuff. Check your outline, start moving the content of your outline onto the template. And so here is the ebook template. It's just a blank Google slide. The one thing that's different about it though is that I made it vertical for you so that it looks like a book. The entire ebook is going to be due before you go on spring break on April 3rd. So I would not wait until April 2nd to put it all together. It's best to get at least half of it done this week, a minimum of 3 slides. And then here's a cool website that has like hundreds of different slideshow templates. It's called Slides Carnival. It makes a copy of a slideshow for you, and so you can use that as well, but you might need to share this with me if you end up going that route. You also need to change the setup so that it looks like a book. So here are the instructions. If you have questions on how to do that, you can do that. If you're just going to use this one, that's fine too, and then you can do the backgrounds and pick a theme and stuff like later. Okay, so that's the first thing, is finishing up or at least starting on your ebook template. Okay, after that, you guys last week you read the memoir Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, and again, I highly encourage people to just read the whole thing. The PDF is on there. It's a really good book. And then so I kind of want us to continue with our memoirs. And there's this memoir called The Glass Castle. And so there's an excerpt by Jeanette Walls. So on Google Classroom, you're going to scroll down. The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls over here. So here's the PDF. You're just going to open it up. Okay. You're going to go down to page 18. And then you're going to take a look at these literature circle discussion questions, and then you're going to pick one if it inspires you. If it doesn't, you don't have to pick that one. You're going to modify one of the questions so that it fits with what you are genuinely curious about and what you want to just ask of your peers. Okay. And then you go back to Google Classroom, and then where it says, please post your question about the Glass Castle. Here I say, please post a question about the Glass Castle. So for you guys, it'll say your answer here. Ignore that it says your answer and post your question. And then what you guys are going to do is you're going to reply to at least 2 other classmates' questions. Okay. One thing that I noticed was missing from a lot of people's responses is to support your response. So if you talk about Trevor Noah's mom being a religious freak, give us evidence of that. What from the text tells us that, and how does that support your claim that she is a religious freak? Okay. So that's the Glass Castle. Again, continue with your Wild Times ongoing journal assignment. And then finally, this last thing that I'm kind of really excited about. This is a StoryCorps interview. So I'm sure you guys have been spending a lot of time with people in your family that maybe you don't really get to spend a lot of time with, or you're just usually you're in your own separate rooms, but now you're really bored of your room. So you go down to the living room and you hang out together. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this time to really archive or document the human experience. So let's say I have my 85-year-old aunt who lives next door to me, and there are just some things that I never got to ask her, or I never like thought to ask her, and think how she's still alive and stuff. But this whole process, or this whole like coronavirus stuff, is making me think I should really sit down and just like hear her story more, and like just sit with the intention of hearing her story, not like ask about something different and then she goes on a tangent and tells that story. Like really ask about it and then get an answer. So this is your opportunity to do that. So this idea comes from StoryCorps. It's a nonprofit organization whose mission is to preserve and share humanity stories. And basically, you just record an interview and you send it to them. What we're going to do is you are going to determine who you would like to interview. So it could be a family member, a friend. You can also perform the interview through FaceTime. So you can reach out to people you're far away from and then like just like interview each other, like be like, okay, so like what was this like, and then they respond to you. Okay. Number two, you want to determine the questions you want to ask them. Your interview is only going to be 5 minutes, so generally like 2 or 3 questions is totally fine. Under the topic StoryCorps interview in Flipgrid, you're going to post your interview, and so it's going to be no longer than 5 minutes. So I'll show you guys like on period 2's Flipgrid, and there's a link to this. There you go. There's me and my mom. Okay, so that's an interview with my mom. It's a sample one. And so yeah, so you're just gonna post the interview. And then I want you guys to respond with comments or questions to at least 2 other students' interviews. Some tips and tricks, please do a sound test first. I recorded like a whole beautiful interview with my mom, and then I realized afterward that I could not hear her. We could not hear her. So do like a quick sound test first to make sure that you can hear both people, especially I was social distancing from her, so I couldn't hear her, or the mic didn't catch everything. You also want to give your interviewees the questions beforehand. So just tell them like, hey, these are the questions I'm going to ask you. Think about your responses. It'll be more meaningful for them, and then you can also think about like what follow-ups you want to ask, what you want to come up with. Also, you introduce that person, or have that person introduce themselves to us. And then here's a list of just like some sample topics. Obviously, you can choose your own too, but if you go to the StoryCorps website, it also gives you more questions to ask. And then you're just going to post it on the Flipgrid. Please post to the Flipgrid, you guys, even just like how are you doing? I really loved seeing the students who did post. Like it made me feel so happy to know that you guys are, struggling, but okay. And so seeing your faces and hearing your voices, that brings me joy. So please do that. I'm sure your peers also like will appreciate that sense of normalcy that brings. All right, so all these items should be completed by Monday, the 30th, and then you'll get another set of assignments. All right, if you guys have any questions, you know where to reach me. You want to email me at jriyad, or call me at this number. And then I have office hours from 10 to 12. So this is usually when I'll get back to you the fastest. If you have any other questions, again, please let me know. This is a very long video. I would suggest playing it on 1.25 speed. All right, bye you guys.